Testing. Testing 1, 2, 3. Ah, shit. Get your tea and your popcorn because this is going to be a good one. So, Pop the Balloon is a dating show, and so many knockoff channels have started other dating shows kind of with a similar concept. So, we've got this unambiguous Nubian queen right here. You know, she's thick and curvy, looks like she's wearing her natural hair, no makeup on. So, she's coming in, and these men they have to like pop the balloon if they are not interested.
Your mic, name, age, what you do for a living, and 3 fun facts about yourself.
Well, my name is Taylor. I am 27. I'm a media specialist. And a fun fact, I guess, I'm Jamaican and British.
Okay.
I love to go ahead and make people smile. And also I love traveling.
Okay, where are some of the places you travel to?
I've been to the Bahamas, Jamaica. I've also been to France. I've been to Italy, and I've also been to Switzerland.
Oh, shit.
All right. Beautiful, beautiful. What are some of your non-negotiables? You took a deep sigh there.
Well, non-negotiable for me is he probably has to have himself together. He has to be, an all-around nice guy. And he has to love his family.
Okay. Good. I think that's pretty good. And then just really quick to take a deeper dive, give me like a brief definition of having himself all together. What does that look like for you?
For me, I guess you have to have ambition. You have to have drive. You have to go ahead and just have a game plan.
Okay.
Be a good strategic thinker.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
All right. Thank you. All right, fellas, turn around and meet contestant number 3. All right.
Dang. Oh my God.
Okay. All right.
Oh wow.
Let's start down here. We normally start over here. Come on with me. Name, age, what you do for a living, and why you popped your balloon.
My name is Justice. I'm 25, and I own an apparel company. Pop my balloon. Initial attraction isn't there. I don't think if I was out, I would approach you, but that's just my preference. That's all.
Okay. All right. And what kind of woman are you like normally attracted to? Because earlier you said you gave us that you didn't like women with children, or like the age gap was over 5. It was too much. So give us like a little quick.
Yeah, I don't really have a type. It's just more so just that initial attraction. I mean, like I said, I don't have like a physical type, but just someone who I can see myself with. Long term.
Dang.
All right, appreciate it. And if you saw him out and he approached you, would this be someone you would entertain?
Not really, just a friend.
Just a friend? All right, why not?
Just a friend. He's not my type, but.
Okay. What type of men are you into?
I love guys that are like light skinned, Hispanic.
All right, cool.
Okay, so I had to pause it right here because unambiguous mono dark-skinned Black women are the main group of women that we see getting upset whenever a guy says he prefers something other than her. Has anyone noticed that no matter who you are, you're not allowed to have a preference? Only unambiguous women can have a preference. So if you're a light-skinned woman who dates light-skinned men, people will say that, oh, you look like siblings, or your children are going to look like vampires. You guys have no melanin. You're just trying to keep your family light-skinned. You're a colorist. Or they'll say things like, you don't look right together. You need some more melanin in that relationship. So people will get mad if you exclude dark-skinned Black people from your dating pool. But here we have an unambiguous dark-skinned Black woman. She's in a room with mostly Black men. And then she says, oh, he's not my type. I prefer light-skinned and Hispanic men. Sis, you already had all the balloons popped within like 5 seconds. So if I'm on a dating show and the men on that show are not even within the range of what I would like, and they had the audacity to all pop their balloons within 5 seconds of seeing me, I wouldn't even stay on the set. I would have walked off the set right there. But this woman decides to go on and continue embarrassing herself. And then this guy's over here asking each man, like, oh, okay, like, what is your type? Or are you attracted to her? The guy actually, he didn't say that he preferred light-skinned women. This guy just said that the initial attraction wasn't there. And so notice how nervous this unambiguous woman was. Like when she first came on, she was breathing hella heavy. she was shaking. And I get it. You're going to be on social media. So I understand like being nervous, but it's almost like she had this mindset of he rejected me, so let me reject him. There's this gender dynamic of the unambiguous woman who kind of fits like this femcel stereotype. Because let's be honest, a lot of people would stereotype this woman as more of a quote unquote femcel. I'm not saying she is, but people would stereotype her as that just because she's not glammed up or anything, even though you're on a dating show. When you come onto a dating show, usually people dress like how they would for a date. So she's got purple, stiff French braids with like a giant cardigan on and like a long striped librarian dress. I mean, I don't know. Maybe she's conservative. Maybe she's Christian or something. That's fine. But it's like a lot of unambiguous women, they go into these dating scenarios. They're not going where they feel celebrated, or they're going into a scenario where they know their type is not going to be. And then they have the audacity to get mad if other people say they prefer light-skinned or Hispanic people.
Name, age, what you do for a living, and why you popped your balloon.
How you doing?
I'm
My
good.
name is Michael, 31, military, in the Army, model, actor. It's just preference, basically. You know, you have yours, I have mine, and that's pretty much what it is. You know.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, appreciate it. And right here, name, age, what you do for a living, and why you popped your balloon.
Okay, so notice that both of those dark-skinned black men, both of them just said she was not their preference. Neither of those men said that, oh, I prefer light-skinned or Hispanic. But notice how the woman, because she felt like she wasn't the preference or she felt undesirable, she specifically went out of her way to say that she likes light-skinned and Hispanic men. So black men and black women, they do this to each other where they will triangulate MLS people and non-black people so that they triangulate us. They'll be like, oh no, actually I like light-skinned girls anyway. Actually, I like light-skinned men anyway. And it's like, okay, if somebody is truly your preference, you don't have to go around and announce that to the other person. A lot of black women don't like it when people announce to them that they're not their preference. So why did she announce that in front of these guys?
So how you doing? My name's John, 27.
And by the way, this guy, he would be her preference. This is a guy who's lighter. He could be mixed with Hispanic. I don't know.
I'm a full-time artist, self-employed, independent contractor. I love the hair, beautiful, matches the nails. I see you, you did your thing. I know you came out here prepared. I love that.
Okay.
So yeah, just not my attraction, and you know, I wish you the best, for sure.
Thank you.
Observant.
And he got like an Omarion vibe, like. He was
Name,
more
age,
nice,
what you do
though.
for a
He was
living, why you
nice. He was
popped.
nice.
So notice how when the light-skinned guy said, you look nice, but you're not my preference. Notice how much more almost feminine she's coming off in front of her preference, the MLS man. But I thought that it's not fair to treat people different based on their skin complexions and based on whether or not they're your preference. I thought that wasn't fair. But notice how when the light-skinned guy rejects her, she's like, oh, okay, well, thank you. It's almost like she's still happy that she even got attention from him, you know, because he gave her a compliment. He said, oh, I like how your hair matches your nails. He didn't say you're beautiful, you're gorgeous, you're stunning. No, all he said was, you know, your outfit is matching. Oh, that looks nice. And she's still over here smirking. So I've noticed that some women, it's almost as if they will settle for the breadcrumbs of attention from a light-skinned man or woman, or they'll settle for the breadcrumbs of attention from a non-black man as a form of revenge against their own counterpart.
What's up? I'm Ali. I'm 27. I'm a filmmaker, and I think you have beautiful braids, but I'm just not feeling the purple hair. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Previously on Pop the Balloon.
So I think that was like a pretty shallow answer. Like, you concerned about looks and all that, but like, bro could have been a really nice guy. You know? You feel me? I'm at that age where it's like, you gonna treat me right? You gonna take care of me? Like, I don't really care what you look like. I don't really care what you look like. I don't really care what you look like.
Okay, so this man, they just replayed him being a hypocrite, basically. So he just said he didn't care about looks, and then with this other girl, he's saying he's not feeling the purple hair. So this is actually proof that men will lie. And it's like, okay, unambiguous women. When a man rejects you, what do you want him to say? Do you want him to say, hey, I think you're ugly? If somebody is going to reject me and insult me, I'd rather them insult my hair or my weave than insulting my face or saying, hey, you're just ugly overall.
This be someone you would
Oh
be
my
attracted to, either one of
God.
these gentlemen? Because you did say Hispanic is more your vibe,
Wow.
lighter skin. If they approach you while you were out, would you entertain them? Okay. All right, dope. Name, age, what you do for a living, and why you pop.
My name is Courtney. I'm 30. I work for American Airlines. I'm making enough to say I'm a musician and a content creator.
Okay.
To me, I loved your answers. I was like, yo, her energy was beautiful
And he
to
put
me
out
as
his
well.
company.
But I personally feel like for a first date, I wasn't really feeling your outfit. That's why I was like, I'm not really rocking with it. So that's why I popped.
Okay.
But you.
Thank you.
You have a rebuttal or anything you want to say?
Well, I'm like, I kind of can say like I grew up very like conservative, so I don't like to show it all off. You know I have like big boobs, I have a big booty, but I don't really like to show it off that much. But it all depends.
All right. I respect it.
So my thing is, if you truly are conservative, why would you go onto a liberal pop culture dating show that is known to not support conservative values? A lot of the women who come on these dating shows, they are not dressed conservative at all. So do you see this bad social climbing tactic? So it's like, oh, I'm conservative and I don't want to expose myself, but I'm going to emotionally expose myself on the internet. So which one is it? Do you see the flip-flopping behavior?
Because
Hey,
normally
y'all,
these days
hey,
everybody's showing it all. Is it?
Hey, she said y'all missing out. I know I got yes.
And also, if she's so conservative, why is she mentioning that she has big boobs and a big butt? Nobody noticed that. Like, she's so covered up to the point where she could have left that unsaid. So are you truly conservative if you're talking about having a big ass and having big boobs? Like, is that a conservative behavior? Is having purple hair I don't associate purple hair with conservatism either. So it's like, which one is it? So do you see how sometimes it's almost like women with inferiority complexes, they're jumping through hoops all the time and they're constantly kind of shifting their identity to their environment. So it's like on the one hand they want to be conservative, but on the other hand they're still talking about how big their boobs and their ass is.
They said I know I got that game back there. Simple. I just stood. Okay, we respect it.
Everywhere. Name, age, what you do for a living, and why you pop your balloon.
My name is Alex. I'm 33 years old. I work in the nightlife and I have my own business. And for me, it was a couple of the things that you said as far as like family. I don't agree with that to a sense.
What part?
Well, having a good relationship, for me, even if a family member is toxic, you shouldn't have them in your life. So for me and my family, there's a couple of little, things that doesn't add up with that,
I agree.
Okay.
How you feel about that?
Well, I can most definitely say like with my home life, like I didn't grow up in like the best. Yeah, my mom and I, we didn't really have like the best relationship, but like we ended up going.
Okay, I had to pause it right there. She admits that her and her mother did not have the best relationship. So this is an unambiguous dark-skinned Black woman. Oh, and I also forgot to say, did you guys notice how at the beginning, when the men weren't looking at her, she's like, oh, I'm Jamaican and British. So if you say that you are Jamaican and British, and then you have an American accent, she sounds like she's from the US. So my first thought was, oh, wait, is she mixed race, like maybe black and white? Because she's not saying British as in she's from Britain. So it's almost as if she wanted to plant the idea in these men's heads that, hey, I'm mixed race. And then when the men turned around, they all popped their balloons. So I forgot to mention that. But also notice how she said she doesn't have a good relationship with her mother. A lot of women who have mommy issues, these tend to be women who struggle with femininity. They do tend to struggle with things like hair, makeup, hygiene, knowing how to dress, knowing how to take care of their bodies, knowing how to be like feminine and seductive, because oftentimes they didn't grow up in a household with a mother and father to where the mother was seducing the father. You know, a lot of these women, they grew up around bad relationship dynamics, or they didn't have positive female role models. And so instead of working on themselves at home, they decide to prioritize dating above all else, as if a man is going to somehow solve her own issues with her femininity.
We had amending things. So it just honestly just depends on the person and the family. So I agree. But that's just me, my preference.
Okay. All right. Thanks for breaking that down and being honest and letting us know. All right. You have any questions for her?
Yeah. So do you date Black people?
I do.
Oh. Okay.
I do.
So what's like the darkest that you've dated?
Ooh.
I'm pretty dark skinned. So.
Are y'all gonna scale this out? Are y'all gonna start naming people?
No, we got different.
What's the darkest?
Probably all the way like him.
So
Yeah.
me.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Am I lighter there?
No, all right, I'm just checking. All right. No, I was that. Yeah.
Besides the melanated skin tone question.
Yeah. Well, what do you do for fun?
That's a good question. I like hanging with my friends. I work a lot. So with the job that I have, sometimes I have to work on the weekends, only because like events and stuff like that. But being a media specialist, I have to make content, get the videos, the pictures, all that stuff. But other than that, I love making content on social media. I make positive stuff, not like anything, too out there, anything like that. But I don't judge, even if.
What's some of the fun things you do with your friends? You say you like hanging with your friends. What's some of the outings or things y'all like to do?
We love traveling.
Okay.
We love traveling. I'm a part of a sorority. So they didn't I. We're a multicultural sorority.
Okay. So. All right. You have any questions for him?
If you can go anywhere in the world, where would you go and why?
Probably Japan. I think Japan's been on my list ever since I was little. People already mentioned that they've gone, so it's like everybody seems to go, but it's dope. I like the culture in general, and I just think there's I like Japanese food as it is, so I think Japan would be a really dope spot. Watch anime all the time, so yeah.
And just to bounce your same question right off of you, where would you go and why?
Oh.
I know you traveled a lot already, but somewhere you have not been.
Most definitely take the chance to go to England.
Okay.
Since my dad's side is from there.
All right.
Oh wow.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Cool. You got any other questions for him, or do you have any questions for her?
No.
No.
Okay. All right, we already up here, and I see you. What was that? You about to pop? You're stretching. All right.
He was about to pop it.
Let's keep it up and keep it 100. Do you see him as a potential match, and maybe wanting to see something further, maybe hanging out, getting to know him outside of this?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And what about you?
Probably not. Honestly, nothing against you at all.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Do you want to pop your balloon?
Yeah.
All right. And why was it probably not?
It was just the energy and the vibe wasn't really there. Didn't really feel like our initial interactions. I could really get out there. I didn't feel the need to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why'd you have your balloon for so long?
I just wanted to hear it out more, just know more about her. Maybe what she could have said something that we both could have, connected on. So it just never really happened.
Okay, so he's actually calling out the fact that she has no hobbies. So I talk about this all the time, especially in my Psychology of a Femcell series. I talk about how unambiguous women who struggle with inferiority complexes, the same women who are obsessed with men's preferences while simultaneously saying they prefer light-skinned and Hispanic men, not only did that girl backtrack on her preference, because this man does not meet her preference. He's like a brown-skinned guy. So he doesn't meet her preference. She was almost willing to settle. But then when he actually tried to ask her, hey, what are your hobbies, basically? Or, he's trying to find something in common. All she said was, oh, I just work and hang out with my friends. And I just travel. And this girl is so nervous. I actually feel sad for her because she sounds so nervous, like she can barely breathe. I don't know if she's just nervous around men or if it's because of maybe her weight or something, or maybe she has asthma. But if she is struggling to breathe in the presence of men, especially when half of these men aren't even her preference, do you see what happens when you're extremely male-centered? Do you see what happens when you're hella male-centered and you have an inferiority complex? This is more than a dating show to her. This is now her being on an international stage and, she's risking rejection. A lot of women who have mommy issues, they have issues with their femininity, but also a lot of them struggle very deeply with the fear of rejection. So even though this woman was able to overcome some of that fear, she still went on the show. She still went through with the process. But you can tell that when she interacts with this man one-on-one, even though this man is not even her preference. So she probably doesn't even think this guy is cute. When she interacts with him, she was still hella nervous and could barely answer. And she was not able to connect with him on a regular human being level because she was so overcome with anxiety.
I appreciate it. You have any rebuttal or anything?
No, it's completely valid, but in the beginning I'm shy.
Okay.
So
All right. Well, I'm sorry we couldn't find your match.
So she says that she's shy, but earlier she was saying she has big boobs and a big ass. So it's like, which one is it? Are you shy and conservative, or do you have big boobs, a big ass, and you're a media specialist who's really good at creating content? She said she creates positive content. So what? Positive motivational content? Yet now you're saying you're shy, but then you're also saying you're conservative, but then you have like purple hair and you're talking about having big boobs and a big butt. And then you're saying you don't prefer dark-skinned black men, but then you got a brown-skinned guy right here, and then he's asking you, wait a minute, am I even your preference? And she's like, oh yeah, like I've dated men who are dark-skinned. It's like, okay, so which one is it? How are you going to say that, like, oh, you prefer one type of man, but then you dated guys that were dark-skinned? So were you settling for the dark-skinned guys? Because a lot of women, they get mad if a man says, hey, I prefer light-skinned and Hispanic women, but now I'm dating you. Women would get mad at that. But you see her doing it to this guy right here.
Today, thank you for coming out. Maybe next time we can get you on the other end, and then we can find your match.
This person says, keep it real. They didn't think she was good looking. She could have said the perfect answers and still would have got next. Okay, but if somebody thinks you're ugly, unambiguous dark-skinned black women, they obviously don't like being called ugly. Like they say all the time that people disrespect them, they're the least protected or whatever. So it's like, what else are the guys supposed to say? I feel like the man just commenting on her outfit or saying like, oh, the chemistry wasn't there, that's all you need to hear. Like, why would I want to stand there and have a man describe to me why he's not picking me? Somebody says she wants to cry. This makes me sad. And if being around a man makes you that emotionally dysregulated, that's a sign that you are extremely male-centered. Imagine almost bursting into tears because some guys didn't pick you for a date. Do you know how high you have to put a man on a pedestal in order for that to even dysregulate you like that? Somebody said if she's serious, she needs to come to Jamaica. She'll be engaged within 10 minutes of her getting off the plane. So they're basically saying she should become a passport sis. Has anybody noticed that? People talk about like passport bros, but they don't call out the unambiguous black women that are passport women. And it's like they get mad because some men, they will exotify like black women or mixed black women from other countries, but then they do the same thing. Oh, I like light skin. I like Hispanic men. And then you got somebody else saying, oh, come to Jamaica. Somebody else says, the fact they called her ugly was very disrespectful. You can lose your looks at one drop of a dime. This person says, and they are the ones that go for the fake women and get played by them. So they're trying to give the looks don't matter talking point, or, you know, looks are not important. Somebody else said, she's actually pretty. I don't know. Men like what they like, and I'm not mad at that. Somebody else said, and they're acting like they look good. Yeah, I don't actually think she's ugly. I don't think she has any deformities on her face or anything. Somebody said the one that kept his balloon felt bad for her. He knew he didn't want her, but sweet gesture. So now you got somebody basically saying that whatever man picks you just picks you out of pity. But this actually is a part of the inferiority complex that some women go through all the time. They feel like men that do pick them only pick them because they feel like they're easier or they feel sorry for them. So it's like, okay, well, what does a person have to do in order to convince you that you're beautiful? Do you see how crazy it is when you have an external locus of control? Somebody said, no earrings, no makeup, simple hair, the shoes not matching. This is not the show for her. I respect the last guy who kept his balloon to spare her feelings. Yeah, I will say the outfit, especially if you're conservative, if you truly are that conservative, don't go on social media. Social media is a place where people flex. Social media is a place where people show off. You know, that's where people show off their bodies. That's where people do all their hair and their makeup. It's almost like a digital stage. So if you're more of the conservative, shy type of woman, social media is not going to be the best place for you to go and, like, I guess, be seen. Somebody said, crazy how she stated her preference was a skin tone and race of people when she is a dark-skinned woman herself and society judges her the same way. Exactly, it's hypocritical. It's like people will call you colorist if you don't date dark-skinned black women, but here she is saying she doesn't date dark-skinned black men. And then this person says, I believe that's her preference because it's usually who she gets attention from. Okay, so why can't that be true for MLS women then? Because a lot of people say that if you're a mixed woman who dates like black men, for example, they'll be like, oh, well, you're only dating him because he puts you on a pedestal because you're light skinned. Somebody else said she's not getting much attention from anyone. This person says preference is not a race or a skin color. Those things are rooted in something else. You're not qualified to have this conversation. Oh, it looks like that person got blocked. Somebody said, if you know dark-skinned women in real life, it's hardly a surprise, especially when it comes to squares. This person says, black women are allowed to love who loves them, which clearly wasn't any of the gentlemen in the lineup. Why should she be attracted to the same men that literally rejected her at first sight? Be serious for once. Okay, so this commenter is actually implying that this pop the balloon scenario is a similar scenario for dark-skinned black women with this phenotype in real life. So not only is she throwing the entire unambiguous community under the bus, but she's exposing the fact that she thinks unambiguous women go through a lot of rejection, especially from unambiguous men. Boho Barbie said, I was speaking on how it's sad that she's doing the same thing society does to her. Yeah, some people call it like reactive abuse. I don't consider it abuse to not date someone, but I have noticed that a lot of unambiguous women, they will use the same tactics against other people. Have you ever noticed that oftentimes it's unambiguous people who are colorist towards you as a light-skinned person? They'll be racist against you as a mixed race person. They'll talk shit about you and say that you're not their preference, or they'll be like, nobody wants you. You know, you're nobody's preference. You're only a fetish. And it's like, those are all the same traumas that have been pushed onto unambiguous women. So they're basically projecting that onto others. It's almost like, I'm going to reject you because I know that you're going to reject me. Somebody said, I honestly think she's saying that she's attracted to and prefers a light-skinned, exotic look in a man. She used the culture's aesthetic you would typically see in a Hispanic man to describe it, but it would be despite his race. This person says, I feel like she just said that because everybody popped a balloon so fast, so she had to come up with a reason as to why she didn't like them. You know what I mean? Embarrass me by popping your balloon as soon as you saw me. Exactly. That's how it came off. It came off as a disingenuous preference. Because if she truly only wanted a Hispanic man or somebody with light skin, why would she go on a show that has mostly black people and is hosted by a man who seems to be culturally black, if you don't prefer black men? So I definitely feel like she was just saying that they weren't her preference as a coping mechanism because maybe she didn't feel preferred by them. This person says preference can absolutely be about a race or a skin color. How the F are you just making up rules to fit your narrative? Some people like Nigerians, Latinos, Russians based on their experiences with that group of people. Culture, looks, food, and music. Some people like light skin, dark hair, dark skin, light eyes. You're just in your feelings. Just stop. This person says, girl, she hates her blackness and said that to defend all the rejection. Because clearly if you go on this show, it's because you're looking for anyone. Well, yeah, because you don't know who's going to be on the show, but I'm assuming it's going to be mostly black people. So if you have a super specific preference, why would you go on something random like this? Someone says, that is a natural woman. And all these men rejected her because she is not artificially beautiful. This is the reason why most women are going extremely lent to look beautiful. Okay, so my question for this person is, what is not artificially beautiful about this woman? Is it her weight, hair, face, skin tone, eyes, nose, lips? What is it? Because I see a lot of black women, they'll comment on other black women saying, and I don't know if this person's black, but this is kind of like a black show and a black YouTube channel. So I'm assuming the person is black. They have so much to say about how every other black woman is not beautiful. But then whenever you ask them, okay, what features about her are not beautiful? Then they can never answer. So what this person is trying to say in their comment is that the girl in the thing, she doesn't fit the Hollywood version of beauty or the social media standard of beauty. So do you see this pattern? A lot of unambiguous black women, they follow the social media standard of beauty and the Hollywood standard of beauty. And this woman, she really did make a mistake because she seems to follow a conservative beauty standard based on her talking points. So a little bit more natural looking, you know, a little bit more covered up. So it's like she should have been in a church or something, maybe like a Catholic church. I think that would have been a better place for her. Maybe a Christian conference or something, that would have been better for her. So it's a bad social climbing tactic. But what do you ladies think? Let me know in the comment section and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.